Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of Mr. Math Guy. Today we're going to be learning how to divide decimals. So there's really only two steps to dividing decimals. First, we just have to move decimal points in the numbers, and then we have to divide those numbers as if they didn't have decimals. You'll see what this means in the first practice problem. So here we have 0.5 divided by 0.2. Our first step is to move the decimal points. So it turns out in the division problem, we can actually move the decimal points if we move them the same amount of places. So if we move this decimal point one place here, we can move this one also by one place, meaning that this is just 5 divided by 2. Now, here we actually have to use long division, even though some of you might be saying that this is just 2 on 1. If we're dividing decimals, we have to express our answer as a decimal. So this is not allowed. Whoops, wrong color. This is not allowed. So we have to use long division. And notice that I've written the 0.0 at the end. When dividing decimals and you do long division problems, you always should write the 0.0s to see what comes after the decimal point. So here we can just do long division. And then this is 5, and then this is 10, 0. So since we wrote a decimal point here, we actually also have to write one here. So we write 2.5. So we know that our answer is 2.5. Alright, next up we have this example. You can pause and try to do it yourself if you want to. Okay, so here our first step would be to move both the decimal points by one place, since this would get rid of them, giving us 7 divided by 3. And here we have to use long division. Now here I'm actually going to write out a bit more zeros, and you'll see why later. So we can do 2. I'm just going to write out the decimal point right there. And if you notice a pattern in what I'm doing, you'll see that I keep getting 10 when I do long division. So these 3's are just going to keep repeating forever. So this is actually equal to 2.3333 ... There's a better way to write this though. We just write 2.3, and since 3 is the digit that's repeating, we draw a line of it, and this is read as 2.3 repeating. This means that the 3's will go on forever. And that's our answer to this problem. Here is example 3. If you want, you can pause and try to do this on your own. So here we actually have to move the decimal points 2 spots in this number. So we should also move them 2 spots here, meaning that we have to put a 0 here. So this is 1350 divided by 45. Here we also have to use long division again. And I'm pretty sure with 45 times 3, this should be, let's do this. Yeah, it's 135. So if I write 3 here, we can write 135. And then that's just 0. And then we also have to write a 0 here because there's a remaining place. So this is just equal to 30. That's our answer. So sometimes you won't have to add those decimal points like we did in example 2 where we wrote a bunch of zeros. Sometimes we don't need to do that if we just end up with a nice whole number. Here's the final example of the video. You can pause and try to solve this by yourself if you want. Okay, so here we have to move the decimal points, right? So we move this one by 1, but this is also, if you can't visualize this, think of it as 27.0. divided by 3.6. If we move this one place, I'm going to use a different color there. We also have to move this one place. So it's equal to 270 divided by 36. We have to use long division. And pretty sure we can do 36 times 7. And that'll get us 252. So that means we can use this here. And then 252 is equal to 18. Now here, don't just write R18. We don't want to do that. That's not how we want our answer. Because remember, we want decimals in our answer. So what we do in this case is we write 0.0. And we just treat the 0 like any other number, as if there was no decimal point. So we can bring down the 0. And I think 36 times 5 should be 180. Yeah, so this is 5. And we just add in a decimal point. And this means that the answer to our problem is 7.5. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe for more.